Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Sue Breakdown. As today we talk about the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam, piloted by Banaj Links himself. The Unicorn is one of the more interesting 500s in this game, in my opinion, because it's got a cool mechanic in the form of the full armor charging. So you have, like, the full armor doubles 80 that can switch between the two, except this one you don't get to switch on the fly. This one's a meter that has to fill up. You have the basic shot, which is pretty powerful, but then when you charge it up, you can use the Vulcan, which you can control in a really cool way. You have the bazooka. You have the striker is a nice little forward dash of the full armor version. Important to note, there is no different striker. And then you can hit left trigger to go full armor mode, which then gives you access to pretty much the same basic moveset when it comes to your shots and your melees, but the charged version is a more powerful version. You have throw that you missed completely there because I missed it, that you can do where you throw out a sword that will stun. You have a brand new left bumper, which instead of the bazooka is now the Gatling, and then your right trigger, instead of this grab that it is here, is a big sideways slash. The grab is very short range, so you have to make sure that you're pretty close up or have a good opportunity to use so. But the burst is completely long ranged. The burst will, however, whether you have a full meter or not, put you into full armor mode, which is pretty nice. Your melee combos change up a little bit when you go full armor. The other combo there is normally a grab, but in this mode is now a double slash. But if we can pull off this grab move here, as you can see there, you just run them forward and then shove them back. It's a good knockback. It does not result in a down always, but if they hit the ground, they will be downed when they go to move, or have down status. They will technically still be moving. It works fairly well. I actually really like the way the Unicorn plays, and I was surprised when I got to practicing it how enjoyable it actually wound up being, because I hadn't really spent that much time with it before. With that said, though, should you use the Unicorn has the same problem that most 500s do, which is that if you get caught in a combo and you die, you have unfortunately cost your team quite a bit. You've cost half of the team's goal for cost. However, what the Unicorn makes up for that with is pure options. Between the two different modes, you have just enough mix-ups to be able to keep things interesting, where your enemy won't quite know what to think. As long as you're able to manage the two well, you're able to get some pretty good mix-ups. However, with that said, the two modes are very, very different from each other when it comes to actual verb set. Because the moveset may be similar, but what it can do, you can only stun in the full armor mode. You no longer have access to the grapple. Your melee combos are now all beam saber based. And your right trigger attack, although far reaching, doesn't really do much, to be honest. The stun is amazing and should be utilized as much as possible. However, you will find yourself very often just about to get a kill, and then the full armor mode drops. And I say full armor mode, it's NTD mode, but it has some aspects of the full armor, which is why it comes to mind. It's not the full armor, though. You don't have all the missiles and everything. Felt like I should probably clarify that after how many times I've said full armor mode. It's NTD mode. But I really enjoy the Unicorn, and I think if you enjoy suits that are really good in melee that have some decent range options, then I think it's probably a good choice for you. I'm not a huge fan of the burst. The fact that it's ranged only really throws me off, because on this suit specifically, it feels like it should be melee with how much everything else is melee. But I do enjoy it quite a bit, and I think that you probably would as well if you decided to give it a shot. With all that said, though, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the RX-0 Unicorn and new type destroy mode has to offer.